So yesterday we finally got a deeper look at Super Mario 3D World plus Bowser's Fury for the Nintendo Switch, which of course is coming out in the month of February. So Nintendo was pretty much forced to at least showcase something from this game. We got a little 2-minute presentation trailer that showcased some of the gameplay elements of Bowser's Fury. We also got a look at a brand new Nintendo Switch variant that I think looks really awesome, to be honest with you guys. I really like the red. I think it definitely makes the system stand out. The red dock as well, just some very cool stuff, and even a little update to Super Mario Bros. 35, which of course is the Battle Royale game. But I think one thing that everyone took away from that 2-minute trailer for Super Mario 3D World plus Bowser's Fury was, well, what the hell is Bowser's Fury? Like, we still didn't really know how the game would work. We still didn't know really what to expect from it, aside from what we saw in the trailer. Well, today, Nintendo decided to drop a 7-minute trailer for Super Mario 3D World plus Bowser's Fury, and we actually learned what we're going to be doing in it and sort of how it's set up. And I definitely want to talk about it because I think it's a very interesting thing that Bowser's Fury is bringing to the table. Now, before we get into that stuff, I know some of you guys are saying, well, why aren't you talking about the Bethesda Indiana Jones game? Why aren't you talking about the Ubisoft open world Star Wars game? Okay, let's talk about the Indiana Jones game. Do we know if it's going to star Harrison Ford? No. Do we know what sort of movie it's going to take place after? No. Is it an all new adventure? No. Have we seen any gameplay? No. Have we seen any sort of indication of what the graphics are going to look like? No. Is it a 3D open world game? We don't know. There's not a lot of information about this. Same thing with the open world Star Wars game coming to us from Ubisoft. What movie does it take place in? What universe within the Star Wars universe and the timeline does it take place in? Who are you playing as? Where are you playing? We don't know. So that's why I'm not talking about that stuff yet. Once we get to the point of where we have information, we have a trailer, we have some screenshots, something to really dig into, I will definitely be talking about those games. I actually like Indiana Jones games. I have played 2 games that really sort of stood out in the Indiana Jones series to me. The game on the N64 I thought was very, very underrated. It was essentially like The Legend of Zelda in an Indiana Jones style game, a very underrated N64 game. And then the Staff Kings on the Wii was actually a pretty fun game. It was very short, only like 5 or 6 hours, but I did enjoy my time with that game. So I like games like that. I will be talking about those games. We just got to get some meat and potatoes on them. But now let's talk about Super Mario 3D World plus Bowser's Fury. So in this 7-minute trailer, like I said, we got a more in-depth look at what Bowser's Fury is going to bring to the table and a sort of refresher about Super Mario 3D World. Now, if you've never played Super Mario 3D World, you really missed out on a really good game. It's sort of more shifting towards like a Super Mario 3D Land, sort of like the 3DS game was, and how the camera is fixated, because it's not a 3D game in the style of something like Super Mario Odyssey or Super Mario 64. There's a lot more isometric views, there's a lot more sort of side views, and you can sort of tinker with the camera, at least you could on the Wii U gamepad, to get a better look at things. I'm sure that's going to be regulated to the second analog stick to sort of tilt the camera, but you don't really have full camera control in that game, so it plays a lot different than those games do. Now, as far as what we saw from this trailer, it was all stuff that we knew about Super Mario 3D World. Now, it's been a long time since I've played this game. I played it when it initially came out back in 2013, so nearly 8 years it's been since I've played this game, so I was definitely sort of, you know, happy to see all the stuff that I forgot from the game, all the sort of power-ups, like the cherries, where you can, you know, duplicate Mario or triple Mario and sort of make it so that, you know, you have a more powerful attack with some of your stuff. Things like the baseballs and stuff like that. You know, I completely forgot about a lot of these power-ups. It actually has the giant Mario power-up, which I think is stupid, hasn't been used since that game. Correct me if I'm wrong on that. There may have been a 3DS game that utilized it, but that was one of my favorite power-ups in the Mario Brothers games that we got on like the DS and the 3DS. I don't know why they didn't do more with that, because I think you could make some really fun stuff here. So, of course, they also talked about the online play for Super Mario 3D World, which is a new addition. It does look like it's going to be just with friends, though. They did clarify that you'll be able to play with your friends or in local multiplayer mode. Overall, it was nice to get a refresher on this game. Like I said, it's been nearly 8 years since I've played this game. I definitely enjoyed it when it first came out. There's lots of fun levels, lots of fun secrets. Cat Mario, even though, you know, I'm not big on cats or anything like that, he is a welcome addition as far as a suit is concerned, and there's a lot of good suits to use in the game. So it's a very, very solid game, a very enjoyable enjoyable Mario experience. And even if they just released this vanilla and, you know, just re-released it on the Switch, I probably would have picked it up just because I want to play this game again and I don't really want to dig out my Wii U. But as far as the Bowser's Fury stuff is concerned, they did a more in-depth look at this. Now, one of the main things that we learned about yesterday was that Bowser Jr. was going to be a part of this game, and he's actually being able to be controlled by a second player in local multiplayer. Now, they did not say that there would be any online for that. I don't think they're going to have online for this because it's very, very different than 3D World is. It almost makes me, just looking at the trailer, looking at the gameplay style, it almost makes me think that this was supposed to be DLC for Super Mario Odyssey, or maybe something that was going to be included in Odyssey 2, because the gameplay style is definitely more akin to that than Super Mario 3D World. The camera looks like it's more of a free-flowing camera. You don't really have those fixed positions that you saw in Super Mario 3D World in the Bowser's Fury section of the game. It seems like it's a very big and open area, much like a world is as far as Super Mario Odyssey is concerned. Some of those worlds that you visited in Super Mario Odyssey, or the kingdoms as they are known, were very big and vast with lots of secrets and intricacies and stuff like that. Like New Donk City is still my favorite thing just because I loved exploring a city with lots of hidden things in it, and it definitely seems like this is more akin to something like that, whereas Super Mario 3D World at its core is a much more linear experience. Now, I'm not saying the linear experience is bad or anything like that, but there's definitely more evidence that sort of points to the fact that I think this was supposed to be a part of Super Mario Odyssey in the first place, and that would be with the whole Bowser's Fury thing. Now, while you're playing the game, there's actually going to be something that actually happened in Immortals Fenyx Rising, which is a game that nobody played because it just came out at a bad time. Look, Immortals Fenyx Rising is a good game. Play the game. I guarantee you will enjoy it if you're a fan of Zelda style games or just open world games in general that have a very cheeky and funny story. But one of the things that happens in that game is the main character, the main bad guy, is a character named Typhon, and while you're playing throughout the game, sometimes you'll just be exploring a region and Typhon's rage will enable, and basically that region becomes very dark and there's weather effects going on and there's strong enemies coming, and that's actually something that's going to happen in Bowser's Fury. When Bowser's Fury becomes a thing, all of a sudden the nice, you know, beautiful area that has all this sunshine and farts in it becomes this desolate place with heavy rain and storms, and, you know, the music picks up, and that's definitely something that we saw in Super Mario Odyssey. Remember the boss battle in New Donk City where you are fighting that big creature and the weather goes into that rainy sort of thing, and even just Bowser himself being this big hulking creature definitely is a throwback to stuff that we saw in Super Mario Odyssey with these large boss battles that were in that game. So I think that's going to be a very fun thing. I think this is something that they should explore more in Mario games, some of the darker side of stuff, because you sort of saw it in other games. You know, there was definitely some darker moments in games like Super Mario 64, definitely some darker moments in Super Mario Odyssey, and I feel like that's something that they can tap into, and I'm glad to see that Bowser's Fury is going to do that. Of course, Mario can become Super Cat Mario to battle Bowser and his fury. What's with cats? What is with cats? Why is nothing based on dogs? I like dogs more than cats. I'm allergic to cats and I have lots of bad cat stories because cats don't like me. But, you know, it's Mario in a cat suit. I guess I'll let it slide. But yeah, collecting things will basically allow Mario to become the huge, massive Mario. A lot of people are, you know, assimilating it with like Dragon Ball Z stuff. I've never watched Dragon Ball Z. I tried to watch a few episodes. I did not know what the hell was going on with this. But overall, this is definitely a very impressive package, especially when you look at what Nintendo has done with other Wii U ports on the Nintendo Switch. Like, look at Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze. Now, that's a great game. I absolutely love that game on the Wii U. I absolutely love that game on the Switch. But the only thing they added to the Switch version of the game was Funky Kong to make the game easier, and they charged you an additional $10 because Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze was originally $50 on the Nintendo Wii U, but for some reason it was $60 on the Switch. Whereas with Bowser's Fury, you're actually getting a lot of more additional content. You're actually getting something that I feel is something that could have been sold separately for like $20, and I don't think anyone would have had a problem with it. So it's almost like Super Mario 3D World is like a $40 game, and then Bowser's Fury is like a $20 add-on when you take into account the price, as it is a full $60 game. But I definitely liked what we saw from this trailer today. I think the Bowser's Fury stuff is going to be just super fun. Now, there are some sort of questions as to how long this is going to be. I'm going to pretty much just guess that it's going to be like a kingdom in Super Mario Odyssey. So obviously obviously some kingdoms you spent more time in than other kingdoms, but I feel like there's going to be a lot of secrets to find within this Bowser's Fury section of the game, and I think it's going to have somewhat of a decent replay value just because of the fact that it seems like the randomization of how Bowser just sort of pops up and just tries to take over everything. And I don't know why people are saying Bowser is like hot now. Like, I don't know, they're trying to sexualize it, which is really weird. Like, don't do that to Bowser. I don't think Bowser wants to be a sexual object. Stop objectifying Bowser as a sexual object for your weird and perverted fetishes. Remember Bowsette? That's a whole nother rabbit hole. But yes, I'm definitely very excited for Super Mario 3D World plus Bowser's Fury. Like I said, it's been nearly 8 years since I played Super Mario 3D World. I really enjoyed it when I played it back in the day, and to see this refresher to sort of, you know, get back into my mind what the power-ups were with that game and how that game was broken up into interesting levels, I'm definitely really looking forward to exploring that game again. Maybe I'll play it with a friend online as well, but just the Bowser's Fury stuff definitely looks like it's adding in a lot of great value into this game, and I think it's going to be a very, very fun experience. So I cannot wait to get my hands on this. Of course, we'll be doing a review on the channel whenever the game comes out that gets more in depth with it, because I'm really curious to see just how long Bowser's Fury ends up lasting. But let me know in the comments section down below what you think of all of this. What do you think of Bowser's Fury? Do you think it was supposed to be something Super Mario Odyssey related? Because it definitely looks a lot more like an Odyssey level than something that would just be randomly added to 3D World. And have you ever played 3D World before? And if not, you are in for a treat with this game. And as always, guys, thank you for checking out this video. If you are new to the channel, make sure you subscribe and turn on notifications. Be sure to check out other videos on the channel. Stop sexualizing Bowser. Hashtag stop sexualizing Bowser. We're putting it in the comment section down below. Get it going on Twitter. Make it trending. And as always, guys, I'll catch you guys on the next video. Later.